Well, breaking news. Mason Mount approved by Erik ten Hag, and he might be in the squad of Man United versus Liverpool. As I told you yesterday when I was really doing that story about Mason Mount, I told you that he might really have a charge because the moment Ten Hag really said he completed the full training session for the club of Man United, and that means it wasn't the first time he's completing those sessions, and he might really be back into the squad of Manchester United. Welcome to the United Matters channel. Good evening. It's a Saturday and it's the 16th of March. Continue to subscribe, guys. Continue to subscribe as you show us love onto this beautiful channel. Now, when Rooney's son, Rooney, I was going to hit to score a hat-trick. I'm also going to really have something to say about him. And lastly, Graeme Souness, who used to play for Liverpool, and he was really a nemesis with Keane at the time they're playing the game of football together for two rival teams, are set to obviously meet tomorrow. Where and why are they meeting? I'm going to really be giving you the details here onto our channel. So let's see close to 200 likes matching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, Man United is really having fun. You know, I know the fun we are having is all about the board, because the board being available and changing, the Ineos handing over the football operation matters to Ineos. That is really great. But we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Ramadan Mubarak. Now, the Athletic, it's a credible source, has gone ahead and really put out a story that Mason Mount is set to be included into Manchester United's squad for tomorrow's FA Cup quarter-final tie with Liverpool. Huge story, huge story. But if you watched my live yesterday that I did late in the night, you cannot be shocked about this. If you're shocked about this, then you just need to see yourself really go back and really watch that video. I told you that the moment Ten Hag said I was going to hit to complete a full training session, it was like he is under consideration to be one of those players into the starting 11 or in the squad of Man United. Remember, the squad has always 20 players, and Mason Mount, who last featured for Man United, I think last year, and is going to hit to spend some good months away, is really in a good mood now to get into the first team of Manchester United. And I just can't really wait. I just can't really wait to see how this man returns in the squad of Man United. You know, the big question remains, where is he going to be playing? Because even if it's the substitutions, you ask yourself that who can he come in for? That means Erik ten Hag needs to obviously sacrifice a certain position for this guy to feature. You know, like how he bought him to play as a central midfielder, meaning that the best thing to do is to get Bruno Fernandes onto the right wing and play Mason Mount as a right winger, or even trying him out as a right winger can really go ahead and really act well. And I think Mason Mount would have gone ahead to serve a better purpose and get a nod into the starting 11 of Man United the moment Rasmus Højlund got an injury. You remember those games Rasmus Højlund has not been available for? Nottingham Forest, Fulham, City, and Everton. That means the manager would have gone ahead to make Marcus Rashford to play as a centre forward, Garnacho left forward, and Mason Mount a right forward or a right attack midfielder, and really play Bruno as a central attacking midfielder. All else would have gone ahead to play Mason Mount as a central attacking midfielder and would have gone ahead to play Bruno as a right attacking midfielder. But there is a start that has always gone ahead to make rounds on social media that almost 80% of the goals that Mason Mount went ahead to score while he was at Chelsea, he scored with him being played as a right or left winger. That is it. So I don't know how Ten Hag is going to plan for this guy, because there is no way he gets into the starting 11 of Man United. You know, he cannot play in the double pivot alongside Casemiro because Kobe Mainoo has gone ahead to cement that position, right? Ten Hag cannot drop Bruno Fernandes for Mason Mount. That is it. He cannot drop him for Mason Mount. And it's one of those things that has gone ahead to be proven left, right, and center that Bruno Fernandes is undroppable. Now, where is this guy going to play? When you look at how Garnacho is playing onto the right attacking side of the midfield, there is no way Mason Mount starts into that game, you know, because Garnacho is really having a very good season. So that is the beauty of Alejandro Garnacho, and it makes it hard for Mason Mount to come in through and really take part into the game of football. So Ten Hag needs to find a way of really getting Mason Mount into the team of Man United, and it's really very, very tricky for him. But making the squad of Liverpool is really a very huge boost, because in the game of Liverpool, you might need some extra experience. And one thing I know about Mason Mount, he has gone ahead to score goals in big games and create assists. You remember in the Champions League final, who went ahead to really put in a line-breaking pass that released Kai Havertz to kill off the game in the first half? It was Mason Mount. I've gone ahead to see Mason Mount score against big teams. You know, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle, even in the Champions League. So he is a big game winner, and you never know, he might announce his return from injury in the game you're playing against Liverpool tomorrow. Like, Ten Hag gets him from the bench and really kills off the game, because I don't see Rasmus Højlund playing 90 minutes tomorrow, and that will mean that he will be taken off like in the 60th minute, all after the hour mark. You take him off after the hour mark. What happens? I think Mason Mount will be the one warming to come in through, as Garnacho will shift to the left and Mason Mount shifts to the right, all shifts to the center, and Bruno Fernandes shifts to the right. And I think the manager will have something to do. I don't really believe in that scenario where the manager is planning to play, like to take off Kobe Mainoo and bring on Mason Mount, because we saw to it that in the first two games we played of the season, that midfield was porous. Casemiro was being paired by Mason Mount, and you saw how the midfield of Tottenham Hotspur and Wolverhampton Wanderers, the two teams we played at the beginning of the season of the Premier League, you know, pass us through like a hot knife through butter. So I don't want to see him playing the double pivot alongside Casemiro, because he is not that player that can really give us the quality. And if he's to do that, he has to take off Kobe Mainoo. I think the first two players to come into the mind of the manager should be Scott McTominay and Sofian Amrabat. That is it. And the return of Mason Mount makes it hard for Scott McTominay to get into play. That is it. Because when you look at how Scott McTominay has gone ahead to be really playing well, 7 Premier League goals for the club of Man United, he has some assists with him, you really understand what Ten Hag is all about, and her decision is yet to make. But this is the headache that every manager would love to get. That is it, like having a bench full of players. And for tomorrow, if he's having Onana in goal, Dalot right back, Bissaka left back, Harry Maguire, Varane in the central defense, Kobe Mainoo, Casemiro in the double pivot, Bruno Fernandes playing ahead of them, Garnacho on the right, Rashford on the left, Rasmus Højlund through the center. The bench will be having Tim Heaton, Amrabat, Scott McTominay, Mason Mount, Amad Diallo, Anthony, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire. You know, I think that's the best that you would love to really have as a manager, having all your players available and giving you that headache on who to start and who not to start. Even when you're really making substitutions, who do you take off and who do you bring on? I think that acts well in what we want to paint as a picture of a team that has to do with the bench. And if Ten Hag went ahead to sign Mason Mount as a player to really strengthen his bench, I think that was a wrong move and wrong idea. I think the best idea would have gone ahead to be getting in a player who is really going to be a starter. I don't see where this guy starts in the midfield of Man United. No way. Have they gone ahead to bring in a midfielder to obviously replace Eriksen next season? Maybe. But I think spending £60 million and signing him fast was like a signal sent to us that he is a starter, you know? So let's wait and see how that happens, and let's go to how the players of Man United welcomed back Mason Mount. Now, Declan Rice was the first to opt to post, buzzing man, all right. Harry Maguire says, things you love to see. Bruno Fernandes said, is back. Diego Dalot, a heart emoji, and an Anthony Anthony put up a heart emoji. That's how some of the players of United welcomed back Mason Mount from his long injury. And they really had to welcome him back because they know what it means. You know, you need the support from your fellow players to obviously thrive in such situations, because if you don't get in the support, then you might put yourself into depression. So his fellow players went ahead to welcome him back, and he's really charged for the Liverpool game. And it will be good to see him on the bench. The shirt number 7 of Man United. He has not gone ahead to score a goal for Man United. He has found himself in a situation where he hasn't even gone ahead to play 10 games for the club of Man United this season. He has been on and off. Injuries have been a problem, and we pray to it that he doesn't really get injured, because in the remaining games we need him in the battle for the top 4, because I know the top 4 positions are really gonna be a variable. You know, I told you the 2 teams that are really ahead of us are supposed to play Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. All those teams are really title contenders, and they wouldn't like to lose those games. So they might lose and drop points. And today, Tottenham Hotspur is taking on Fulham. You know, in the next 2 hours from now, is taking on Fulham. You never know what's going to happen, because they're going to be playing at Fulham. Then Aston Villa is going to be playing West Ham. They're going to be playing away at West Ham. So you never know what's going to happen there. Villa can continue to drop more points, because it's all possible. So that is it coming in through from Mason Mount and the competitors, and how his return is really a very huge boost to the club of Manchester United. Now, we are having this story coming in through from the Instagram of Rooney. Scored a hat-trick and got 2 assists for Manchester United under 14s against Everton this week. He went ahead and really put it on his Instagram, and it looked like sauce. Let me show you. This is how he looked. Now, Rooney is a son to Wayne Rooney, and he has been at Borussia Dortmund and very many other places. His skill set is more than that of his father. And he was brought in at Man United. So he's having the best of himself at the club of Man United, and he went ahead and posted 6-4 win versus Everton. 3 goals and 2 assists. What a way to have this left-footed player do the magic. And this kid is really talented, and this is where I feel like we should keep Erik ten Hag. Meaning that in the next 2-3 seasons, if Ten Hag is here, we might see him get Kai into the team of Man United, because he's a wonderful kid. You need to watch out on these clips and see how good this boy is. The skill set is really great. He really hits very well. And him and Ronaldo's son, while Ronaldo was at Man United, we had gone ahead to make a very good partnership in there. And it was all great for the lads. And I tell you what, this boy can play as a left forward, he can play as a center forward, he can play as a right forward, he can also play as a central attack midfielder. Huge talent in him. He needs just guidance from his father and be in the good hands. If the team of Man United or the academy coaches have managed to mold players like Garnacho, Rashford, Scott McTominay, Kobe Mainoo, Danny Go, Kambuala, Foson, Omari, then Rooney is head to obviously grace the bigger stages, and we wait to see how he's going to feature in the under 15s and so on and so forth. So we thank him for those goals that's going to hit to score for the under 14s, and the rest is going to be really history. Then let's go to the big game. There is a combination that has been said as Man United takes on Liverpool tomorrow, and that has been put up on ITV, and we've been told by Mike Keegan that Graeme Souness will return to TV punditry for ITV's coverage of Man United versus Liverpool, and is set to reunite with former sports colleague Roy Keane. We know that Roy Keane was playing for Man United and he made a very huge milestone there. Graeme Souness did for Liverpool, and you know that rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester United. So tomorrow we are going to be having two legendaries of these clubs coming in through to give their analysis, and it looks like Graeme Souness is rooting for Liverpool to really win this game of football and knock out Man United, and Roy Keane, he is rooting for Man United because he knows how good we can raise up to the occasion. And with the return of the players like Mason Mount, you know, Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Rasmus Højlund, there is no reason as a United legend failing you to root for the club. So we wait and see how that punditry is really gonna go. It's gonna be really exciting, and we're gonna be here bringing you what they are really saying about this beautiful game of football. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokan David is my name. Tell me your thoughts about Mason Mount to be named in the squad of Liverpool by Erik ten Hag. What do you make about it? Then tell me your thoughts about Rooney on fire, and Roy Keane to really face off with Graeme Souness tomorrow when Man United is really facing against when Man United is facing Liverpool in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. First video of the day, more is yet to come. Obviously, you expect Erik ten Hag to come in through and really put in a shift, and I know later in the night I'll have gone ahead to get all that, and I'll be broadcasting it live onto this channel. I'm preparing a story about Jadon Sancho and very many others, so we are here and waiting to see what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Mubarak, so it's Ramadan Mubarak, the Muslims, and for the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living true God bless you abundantly. Guys, I sign out, but continue to subscribe. I want to hit 17,000 subscribers before the end of this month. Let's hit that milestone, and the rest will be coming in as expected. Ciao, ciao.